Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is number 276 for the week of September 15th, 2019. I'm Nemesis and I am joined by Alca7raz. Yeah, not a whole lot actually happened this week, honestly. It's kind of a...
Yeah, it's kind of an empty...
dead week.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got a surprise thunderstorm, that's about it, really.
Yeah, that was about it. Kind of
yeah.
expected rain, but then thunder.
I mean, I wasn't expecting it like Friday morning, just Thursday night. Bleh.
Yep. Thunderstorm. Oh,
funny
hi.
because I'm at my parents' house and my dad was grilling steak and
Oh.
all of a sudden I hear a roll of thunder. I was like, well, is that thunder?
Yep.
Oh, he's outside.
Thunderbolts and lightning.
Yep. Very, very frightening. But yes, we're not here to talk about the weather. We're actually here to talk about pony stuff, believe it or not. Yeah, we got, of course, a bit of news, new episode, and fan content. There's not really a whole lot this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a somewhat threadbare episode, I guess.
So we'll go ahead and get started with that news stuff. If you want to follow along, go to pony411.libsyn.com/show-notes. It's spelled Libsyn if you want to, actually find it and stuff.
All the extra details that we won't go over.
Yeah, all the extra stuff. So we'll start off with convention news. Ponyville Side has just announced a ton of community guests and musicians, including, unfortunately, one transphobic one who still hasn't quite properly apologized. But whatever. I'm not going.
Yeah.
But just so you're aware. But yeah, there's a bunch of names there if you want to see who's going.
Yeah, bunch of community guests and such.
Yeah, it's like they just want that's a whole bunch in 3 days. And fandom news and whatnot. Trotmania 5 Shrive has released, or V, whatever however you want to pronounce that.
It's 5.
V, or like that. What was that old series, the V, about the aliens and stuff.
All right.
Yeah, apparently it's also got some new original songs just that came out with this, so there's that.
Yep.
Merchandise news. Singapore McDonald's are getting the pony toys as well. So the picture only shows 4 of them, but who knows?
Yep.
And comic news, and this is the comic that's going to come out, this coming week, so hopefully we'll have it for next episode. Apple Books has a preview for Friendship is Magic number 82. Which one was that? That's
I don't even remember.
Oh, right. Cerberus is there.
Cerberus.
Yep. A dog sitter for Celestia wants someone to dog sit Cerberus.
Huh.
Okay.
See how that one goes.
Equestria Girls news. Inclement Leather, Lost and Pound, and Accountability Buddies are now on YouTube. They just over this last week, they just popped all 3 of them on. It's just like, okay, I guess they're not doing the Friday thing anymore.
I guess.
And Friendship is Magic news. Discovery Family has released their October highlights, and those include the last pieces of Friendship is Magic. The last few episodes, including the Big Mac question, which has a synopsis now. When Big Mac and Sugar Belle decide to propose to each other, everything their friends do to help ends up making a mess of the whole thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah. The big question, the Big Mac. I get it. There's also the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, A Decade of Pony special they're doing. It's behind the scenes thing. They're airing October 11th, which is a Friday. And the series finale will be airing on October 12th, and it's going to be 90 minutes long because they're doing all the last 3 episodes, the 2-parter and the epilogue.
Yep.
All in one day, which I was suspecting they're going to do, and I was right.
Yep.
And leading up to all of this, there will be a Ponypalooza marathon of the show over the week, leading up to it starting, I believe, October 6th.
So a whole bunch of pony all before
and
to a close.
With this one, the links do have spoilers for the finale. So if you are trying to avoid those, they're there because it very much just tells you what's a good chunk of what's going on.
Yep, I'm avoiding them.
Yeah, particularly the epilogue, really tells you about something pretty big.
Yep, I'm avoiding them.
So just FYI. And that's it.
That's the news.
That's the news. We're done. I told you it was
only 6 things.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, one of those is kind of important, but
yeah,
in particular. But yeah, it's not a whole lot's been happening because again, everything's kind of slowly coming to a close. But anyway, we're going ahead and move on then to the discussion, which this week is the new episode of Friendship is Magic called A Horse Shoe-In. So as a quick synopsis, let's see. Well, Starlight's going to become the new head mayor of the school because Twilight's leaving off to be princess of Equestria, all that stuff, and so she decides to go find a new vice head mayor to help her out, and she's got a bunch of candidates, including Trixie, who's really bad at it, and while Trixie keeps failing her way through, and then until eventually Starlight gets so fed up she yells at her, they get upset with each other, then they talk it out a bit. Trixie suggests getting sunburst, and everyone's happy at the end.
Also, Trixie becomes the counselor for some reason.
Oh, that too, but who cares about that? Okay, so this is going to be a weird one for me, because, like, it's not a bad episode, but boy, do I hate the characters.
Yeah.
It's that problem. It's not a bad episode per se. I just don't care about it that much, and there's some negatives, which is like largely just based on my perception of the character, and I feel the it's gonna be a weird one to talk about.
it is a bit weird of one to talk about because neither of us are super enthralled by the main characters in this episode. But yeah, I'm right. I still think it was a fairly well done episode.
I just don't like it because I don't like it because it's who's focusing on.
Yeah, I do my best to try and look past that so I can try and analyze how the episode was made and like that. It's tough, but I do think it was actually a fairly good episode overall. In spite of the fact that I don't like the characters that much, they're not my favorite characters. It was well written. The characters, even Starlight did exactly what she should have done, I guess, as far as her characterization goes, and was fairly well written. It wasn't like the one with the bottled anger. I'm trying to remember the name of that.
All bottled up.
All bottled up. It wasn't like that episode where it's just not favorite characters, and I didn't like the episode anyway. This one, it works. It really does.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was written by Ariel Shepard Oppenheim.
Yeah. They did a good job. I will say that.
Yeah.
They did a good job with the episode. It's just not one that either of us really like the characters themselves.
The one and only episode they've ever wrote.
Yeah.
Huh.
Coming in right at the end.
How about that? Yeah, the thing is,
how do you want to go about talking about it?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think about. Like, I feel like it's the problem is this episode is predicated on you accepting a lot of things that have already happened, which, well, I don't. Like, I've still on this I've always been like Starlight's a bad counselor for various reasons. Trixie's would be an even worse one, apparently.
And I will agree there. Definitely, Trixie's not a great choice.
I'm baffled by the idea. Yeah, that's idea that Trixie's going to be a good counselor because she happened to give it good advice once.
They even say it. She gives good advice when she doesn't mean to.
Yeah, and it's
which is not good for a counselor.
Is too self-absorbed and egotistical to really be a good counselor. If we were going to be real about this.
Well, she is one thing that they did bring up. She is self-absorbed and self-interested, but not to the exception of others. She does actually care about the students. That's what they did bring up within this episode. She does actually care about them. But
it's the sort of thing where
doesn't mean she's gonna do well as a counselor.
Because one of our other problems is they also bring up is she doesn't listen very well, and that's one thing a counselor needs to do
is listen.
And yeah, that's a problem.
It's like
it's just.
Yeah, and like she gives good advice when she doesn't mean to, but if students are coming up to her for advice, she's going to be purposely giving them advice, which means it's not going to be good advice because she's meaning to.
Yeah. Sunburst running stuff, yeah.
Sunburst is the vice president. That's fine. That works well.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah, and just I'm trying to think of it. What was the other thing? I think this also episode kind of inadvertently again. Way back when I think I said this before, but I feel like way back when Twilight was right that Trixie and Starlight are kind of bad for each other. In a way, they do kind of bring out the worst elements from each other. But this one it has little bits of that.
In some ways, it does bring out the worst in each other, but they also work together. It's a weird combination, the two of them. It can play both ways depending on the circumstance. It's weird. Because, like here, they do bring out the worst of each other. All bottled up. Trixie just brought out the worst. They did it again. in a really bad way. But sometimes exposing those things can help work on them, and they can help each other by doing that, and which they've done before. They find their own problems in order to work on them. So in some ways, it's a good thing too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Sometimes it feels like they just ignore, and again, though, there's been times where they just straight up ignore the problems or even encourage the problems.
Yes, there are cases that they've done that as well. So, which is why I say it's weird. I can't completely write it off as not a good combination, but I can't do the opposite and say no, they're actually a great combination. It's
and the other thing goes, Starlight. The chunk of the problem, basically the core problem of the story is Starlight's just letting Trixie coast through these interview stages.
Yeah.
Because, well, she's my friend, so I'm just going to let her through.
Which is a thing that happens. Yeah. That's a real thing.
Essentially nepotism, but
the only reason it's not nepotism is because they're not family.
Or are they? Dun, dun, dun.
But it still totally happens. And the whole... we're going to open the position and interview a whole bunch of people, but you're going to get the job anyway, is totally a thing that happens.
It does.
Like,
you're the nephew of the boss, so of course you're just going to get right through.
Right. I've seen this happen. It's because there are certain places where they legally have to open the position, but they already have someone in mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just because it's like, let's be real, Trixie should have been disqualified from the first stage, but she made it through anyway.
Yeah, and then Starlight was able to eat more easily, disqualify someone else, which means like, oh, I guess that one's already gone, which means I can fudge this one a bit.
Yep.
And then same thing happened in the next stage.
So finally it got to the point where Starlight's like, okay, I can't let her through anymore.
Yeah, well, it hit another stage right before that, where Starlight's like, you need to shape up or you're not getting this.
Yeah.
And Trixie, of course, just didn't get it. Because Starlight just straight up told her, you're probably not going to get the job. Starlight did basically what she should have done.
Well,
sort of. She did mostly
she
the
should
right
have
thing.
She like, you're out.
You're out. But, you always want to, if they're your friend, you always want to give them a little extra chance because they're your friend. It's tough.
I know.
But she didn't she didn't do what I was afraid she was going to do. And try and, sugarcoat it or kind of not quite say you're not going to get it and try and lie to her. She straight up told her, no, you're about to lose this whole thing.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's just the fact that she let it get that far is kind of bad in itself.
Yes. But I was expecting her to, no, you're doing fine.
Of course, I'm also of the opinion the school shouldn't be there in the first place, but whatever.
Right.
There was, the other applicants were Doctor Who's, Big Mac.
You mean Time Turner?
Yeah. Octavia and, officially Doctor Who's now.
Yeah, whatever.
I know. But Spoiled Milk, or Spoiled Witch.
Spoiled Milk.
Well, that was her original name, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is weird because her whole I forgot she was totally what was it? She was like part of something for the school, the actual school.
Oh,
because
I can't remember.
She was like administrator or the board or school board or something like that. Part of it because I'm way back when the last episode of Diamond Tiara actually did anything.
Oh yeah, yeah, because she's somewhat connected to the small school in Ponyville, the actual one, not the school of friendship.
And she got eliminated pretty quick because she decided loyalty's great and all, but loyalty can be bought with money.
Buy loyalty with money, and here's how you make money.
So here's how some dashes this there just kind of shocked, just this shocked face when she sees this. Like, are you kidding?
You're making a mockery of my element. That's not loyalty.
Like in that one episode of Kill la Kill. Big Mac got disqualified because he had a hard time talking during the parent-teacher conferences or guardian whatever. Because
he doesn't talk much, and you need to talk more.
Yeah, so he was out, and then you had his down to Octavia and Science Pony.
Yep, Time Turner didn't.
His field trip was boring.
It was boring.
And Octavia pretty much looks like the one who's like most qualified for of all the applicants, but she's like, actually, you know what? I'm realizing I wouldn't have time for my music, so I think I'm not going to do this.
Yep. So in the end, they all bailed.
Yep. Or were disqualified.
Which is why Sunburst suddenly got it.
Yeah.
So the entire interview process was a farce.
So the whole thing was a waste of our time.
Well, it did successfully show Trixie, and no, Trixie can't do this.
Well, that's just telling us something we already knew.
Yes, it just reinforced it.
It's still just, but still, you can have a counselor position, but why though? Yeah, because Sunburst is like, I pretty much don't do anything up in the Crystal Empire anymore.
Yeah, Flareheart's getting older. I don't really have to do much.
So I can hang around here, do the vice head mayor thing.
He can be a vice head mayor. That's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. One thing I still don't like is the very nebulous magic is whatever it needs to be thing they still do.
Yeah, and that's
magical ability is whatever it needs to be. It still bothers me. It's been bothering me a long time. It's like I want clear definitions.
Season 1.
It's just
always been weird.
Well, I just remember back in the early times, there was a little bit of rules, but then they kind of been slowly getting rid of those. And it's like, Trixie can now just teleport a piece of swamp to the classroom.
Whole piece of swamp, and then phase through it as it falls on her.
I think what happened was she put a shield up, and she just
I think that's what she did.
Punched through the bottom.
It looked really cool. It's like, okay, that was impressive.
Also, it's not a field trip.
Also, it's like a staycation.
Then she bought the bees.
The bees! Paul and Oprah Winfrey. How many people... Now I understand why I saw that picture again today.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Starlight killed the bees. Or something.
They're
anyway,
not entirely...
I'm pretty sure Fluttershy would not approve of that method.
They weren't entirely clear on how Starlight dealt with it, but...
There was a big flash of light and the bees were gone.
And maybe she just teleported them. We'll just go with that to, keep Fluttershy happy, although they lost their home. But they can build more.
See Fluttershy yell at Starlight.
Yep.
That means you really screwed. If Fluttershy is yelling at you, that means you really screwed up.
Yeah, Fluttershy starts yelling at you.
And then Twilight. Yeah, Twilight was giving her sage advice. But sometimes your friends aren't going to be good at the job.
Yep. Just because you're friends doesn't mean they're going to be good at that.
Yeah, and
at
then
everything.
Also folding napkins because that's important, I guess.
Yes, because you're dealing with nobles, and the nobles get upset.
Who cares?
Yeah, but unfortunately they have pull.
Who cares? That's what the guillotine is for.
Well, last time you started guillotining all the nobles, you end up getting guillotined yourself.
Yeah. She's an alicorn. She'll be fine. Pop the head back on.
That's how. What are we going with modular magic now? That was a thing. God. Or maybe they're like the immortals from Highlander. That's the one way to kill them.
Oh.
There can be only one.
But there's 4 or 5.
Well, there can be only one. They would have to, the whole quickening, and they're supposed to, They've just, decided not to kill each other, which also was a thing that happened in the series.
Yeah. Right. All right. The parent-teacher scene was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where Trixie started yelling at the Grandpa Gruff or whatever.
Gruff, yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing.
Honestly, he needed yelling at. He's a horrible.
He does, but at the same time, it's like...
You're not supposed to do that.
And Big Mac's sitting there just panicking because realizing this is not going to work.
Yeah, you need to use
I don't understand. Is this good or bad? I need clarification. Yep.
So he can only say 2 things, except then he said 3, but we've also seen him say more. We know Big Mac can talk more than just saying yep and nope and maybe.
Also, that's interesting. Oh, okay. Apparently, Yona's have a bit of a mind towards science.
Interesting. Yes.
Yak's best.
Yes. Time Turner did know how to talk to people.
Yeah, somewhat. Although the time travel chair.
The time travel chair. He didn't know exactly, how to do the field trip. He wasn't very good at that, but he did know how to communicate by using, language that the parents would know and understand. Using those kind of references and stuff like that is a great way to do it.
It was like the time travel chart. Sit here. And you're
seconds.
now 5 seconds in the future because we're always time traveling. It's like, so now what?
That whole thing.
I don't know what to do.
And then that was all he planned.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing. It's one of those things I have a mixed feeling because I still don't like the fact they're really, doing the whole, it's Doctor Who thing.
I don't mind it.
I know you don't.
You just don't like Doctor Who.
No. No, I do not. But there's that. And then, of course, the big crazy concert with Final.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
That was awesome.
Because Cal's like, oh, this is going to be boring. Oh, wait, no.
It's not. It totally wasn't. Mixing classical and electronic is an amazing idea, by the way. It's awesome when people do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you get, this is where stuff like Twilight's already busy with stuff like Rarity's like, you need another dress fitting for your coronation dress. I'm like, well, Rarity didn't show up. It was Spike who said that because I'm relaying a message. And, yeah.
Yeah, because apparently Twilight has a lot of things to do.
Oh, yeah, and there's Phyllis.
Oh, yes, there was a plant. Philodendron, I guess is what it was. So it's
Yeah, a
called
philodendron named Phyllis. Because Starlight's a little stir crazy, I guess, or something.
What did Trixie say?
This is a sign of desperation. Throws in the trash, and then, yep.
Yep. And
Phyllis,
then, no! That was great.
Phyllis was the best character because Phyllis didn't talk.
Now. Octavia was totally the best character.
Okay, Octavia was there, too.
I still would have liked to see Octavia as
more
the
Octavia.
actual pick. But alas.
And then, or the client comes in and it's like, actually, I've been watching this. You know what? You're no longer going to be the head mayor. Octavia.
Octavia just take.
Octavia, you get the job. What?
But Octavia said no because so Octavia would
Royal
deny
decree.
that one too. Crap. Royal decree.
But yeah.
Yeah, that would be a thing. That would
Yeah.
totally be a thing.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of honestly beyond that.
Beyond that, I can't think of anything, major, at least not at the moment. As usual, probably think of things afterwards. But I still think overall, it was a well-made episode, and it was mostly enjoyable. It's not a bad episode.
I wouldn't say enjoyable just because for me it's like it's hard to enjoy it when it's mostly focused on characters you don't like.
Right, and I'm not so hard set on that. One, I don't dislike them as much as you do, and two, I'm not as hard set on that particular aspect of it, so it doesn't negatively affect me as much. So, if you like these two characters, and I won't judge you for that.
I will.
I won't judge you for who. Everyone has their own preferences, and just because I don't understand them does not mean they're not valid. If you like these characters, I'm pretty sure that you will really enjoy this episode. Because I do think overall, on technical basis alone, it was well done.
Well, yeah.
Pacing was decent, writing was good, everything was good. If you like the characters, if you don't like the characters, then you're not so much. So it doesn't rank high for me as much.
Nope.
But I understand it's just because I'm preempted to not. It's nothing really against the episode itself.
Okay.
Once you get me on a roll, I'll keep going.
Yeah, I noticed. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's for me. Just I have a hard time enjoying it because even though it is technically nothing necessarily wrong with it. There's nothing major wrong with it. It's characters I don't really like much, so it's harder for me to enjoy something when it's these characters.
Yep.
So that's it really. It's not going to be a very highly rated episode for me. And that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I drew that out as much as I could, I think. So we'll go ahead and move on to the fan content, which of course opens with music. And if you want to see these links for the fan content, remember it's pony411.libsyn.com/show-notes.
Yes.
It'll be there on the episode 276 doc.
Yep, we keep links to all the fan content that we're talking about, so you can go listen to the whole thing. But yes, music. I have only one song that I want to feature this week, and it is Loophoof's We Will remixed by Rokii. I really like this song. It might be a little bit long, but I do think it's really well made. It's interesting comparing this to the original, which we did feature the original a while back. They both have energy to them, but this remix tends to be a lot, I guess, smoother. I don't want to say mellower, because it still has energy to it, but it's a very different feel. But this has a lot more smoothness to it. Like I said, it's a lot longer. It's like twice as long as the original. But I just like Rokii's style. One of my favorite parts in it is the arpeggios. I really love a good arpeggio, and this one's got good ones. But it's a really good remix. It's a good take on the original, and yeah, go listen to it. The whole thing.
Yeah, it's got some nice vocal chopping throughout it. It's also got a very nice, light, airy feeling throughout as well. And yeah, the other thing is, yeah, it is a little on the long side, I feel.
It is. I think it would probably stretch out a little bit more than it needed
the
to
outro,
be.
I think, in particular, is just kind of...
Yeah. It's probably longer than it needed to be, but it's still really good.
Yeah, it's still a good song. Yeah, so that's music.
That's music.
Yeah, so fanfic stuff. An update, actually.
Sort of. Yeah.
The Enchanted Library side story's got a new chapter, although it's weird because it's a non-canon chapter that was just there because like they saw it and was like, it's unpublished draft. I was like, I want people to see it even though it's non-canon. So there's some details which are going to be contradictory to other parts of the story. And this is a story of Apple Crisp and his little adventure in the forest, I guess. Yep. That's it.
Yep.
Because Princess Twilight is missing, and you got Spike all upset about it and other things.
Yep.
And Shining Armor as well.
Just shortly after the whole event happened.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so it's an interesting little story, but it's pretty much largely non-canon to that entire thing.
Yep. It's only a sort of an update.
Yeah. But it's an update. But the featured fic I have this week is actually Love's a Witch and the She-Demon 2 by RB. That's their name. RB with an underscore at the end. They also have a little fun thing if you ask what the RB stands for. It's a random. They got a little random thing that just gives you random things for whatever the RB stands for. But anyway, it's a little thing where Twilight, Sci-Twi and Sunset are dating, and then hey, there's they're both getting the like stuff vandalized and whatnot. Like this opens with Twilight's locker being vandalized, and we find out both of them are getting their stuff vandalized, and it turns out there's actually an explanation for it, which is that not exactly the one they're expecting.
Yep.
That's the whole thing. It's about 14,500 words, so it's 100% done. So don't have to wait for updates on that one. It's actually an entry in a contest, which has been going on for a bit. The Sunset
authors that you've featured a few times before.
Yeah. The Ouroboros Sunset Shipping Contest, which is the third one. The first one was about the beginning of a relationship. The second one is about relationship in general, and the third one is about about the end of a relationship. Because so that's an interesting little way of doing things. I just noticed. I rather liked it.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I could partway through, I was starting to I think I kind of know what's going on here. I didn't quite catch the reasoning until the very end. I didn't catch on to that part, but who the vandal is I started going, I wonder.
Yep.
And yep. Well,
yeah, so it's a very interesting fic.
Yeah, it's interesting how they did it. The conflict.
Yeah.
What they chose to be the conflict is something I don't think I've seen much before.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
I think I've seen hints of it, but nothing quite like this. But yeah.
It's an interesting way of handling things.
Yep.
So it's not the only one that did something like that, but yeah, because there's a lot of actually good entries for this contest. Because it's just basically it has to be sunset and it has to be about the end of a relationship. Doesn't matter how it ends, just has to be the end of a relationship in some way. And pretty much other than that, and word count and content wise, you got a lot of freedom on this one. So a lot of really interesting stuff has been popping up with it. There's actually one I was going to feature differently, but I chose differently at the end, at the very last second.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. So, yep, that's it for the fanfic, which means we're at the end of this episode. If you like what you heard, you can check out other episodes, including past, future, and present at pony411.libsyn.com. Again, spelled Libsyn. See the episodes there. And, of course, seeing all the links for the stuff I'm about to list off over the next few minutes. Because you can also find us on youtube.com/pony411. Like, comment, subscribe there.
And click that notification bell.
Click notification bell, all that stuff if you want. Because YouTube likes to break things in ways and then just say that's what we want. And everyone's like, that's not what we want. And they're like, we don't care. You're the only game in town, so you're stuck with us.
Yeah, you're going to get what we want because it's YouTube.
You also find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Search for Pony411 on any of those services. With Google Play, you have to go to play.google.com/music to find us, or else it doesn't work. Yeah, you can find us on any of those. And of course, we're also on Ponyville Live, ponyvillelive.com. We're there along with other podcasts and radio shows, or radio stations, which unfortunately, some of those will occasionally apparently show spoilers in their thumbnails. So be careful if you do so up until, well, the finale airs, I guess. And you've seen it.
Yeah.
But we're also on one of those radio stations, which is called Ponyville FM. We will air there every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can tune in then and see us or listen to us. And, of course, you can tune in any time during the rest of the week because, well, there's live DJs and music and whatnot that you could also check out. If you want to contact us, you could do so via email, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Questions, comments, criticisms, news tips. What did you think of this particular episode or whatever? Was it good? Because you'll probably think it was good, but I don't know. I'm not you.
We are not you. We cannot make your decisions. We can only give you ours, and you can decide from there.
Yep, pretty much. There's also, of course, facebook.com/pony411. Like us there and see new episodes that show up whenever they show up. That's what we do. We also respond to messages. Sometimes it might take us a while because, well, Facebook decided to stop giving me notifications about those new messages.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so I might not see them for a bit, so just be patient if it takes me a couple of days. Sorry about that. And, of course, for our main social media thing, which is Twitter, @pony411, we go there and tweet about things randomly sometimes, depending. Just,
Yep.
Nonsense. Of course, our personal Twitters, I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alcatraz with a 7 and 7T and an underscore at the end. You want to see the things I've been tweeting out, mostly Transformer stuff again. Not surprising.
Have I even tweeted at all this week?
I have no idea.
I don't think I have. Maybe a retweet or so, but that's...
Moving Transformer stuff, I should be retweeting out a new review. Actually, before you hear this, there should be a new review out. I have on my channel. Oh yeah, and our other podcast, New to Weeaboo, we just released a new episode for that. If you want to check out anime things. We talked about Love Live.
Oh no.
Yes. Oh yes. So yeah, if you want to check that out, go to the @NewToWeeaboo on Twitter and see us there. New episode just posted. So yeah, check that out if you're into anime and school idols. But anyway, that's it for this episode. Tune in next week. We'll be talking about Daring Doubt.
Daring Doubt?
Yes, the final Dash episode.
Oh no. Whatever will I do?
And final Fluttershy episode and final Daring Do episode.
Yeah. Maybe I only have a few more weeks before the final episode.
That's coming up quick.
Yep.
So, until then, though, please pony responsibly.
Bye.
See ya.